Everyone in the crypto space seems to be asking the same question these last few days, and it's a valid question. What is going on with Ethereum? Bitcoin, after all, hit an all-time high in January. Meanwhile, and by contrast, Ethereum is down 20% in just the last couple of weeks. Its 45% ROI in the last 12 months is okay, that's decent, but certainly nowhere close to Bitcoin's 169% gains. Well, don't despair too much. There are a lot that are analyzing the situation, those with longer term mindsets that are suggesting that right now is kind of the quiet before some huge gains truly kick in. Tron's Justin Sun, for example, is saying that Ethereum can hit $10,000. Is he just doing what he usually does? Is he just being a hype guy and acting crazy? Or does Ether actually have a chance of hitting the 10K mark in this crypto bull cycle? Welcome to the channel. My name is Maddie and this is Altcoin Buzz. All the best of luck if you choose to invest into Ethereum or otherwise. I wish you well. But I am not a financial or investment advisor. Do keep that in mind and remember that by extension, this video is not official financial or investment advice. First of all, and just candidly here, let's ask the question, is a $10,000 Ethereum or Ether token, more specifically, even possible in the first place, given right now how poorly Ethereum as a project is doing? The fact is we have many, many longtime users and fans that are frustrated, like this one here that I'm showing on screen. One reason, however, that 10K is a possibility is represented by Donald Trump. His re-entry into the White House is really good news for the entirety of the crypto space. By now, most of us are aware of this. Check out our previous coverage that we've done these last few days if you're not up to speed on the variables related to this. Trump is a good thing in summation. And WLFI, which is Trump's DeFi project, is buying a lot of Ethereum right now. We covered this yesterday. The project owns 63,000 ETH for a value of over $200 million. It is by far World Liberty Financial's largest holding. WBTC, for reference, is in second place. Then it's staked ETH on Lido. That's at number 3 at about $62 million. And so the bottom line here, just objectively speaking, taking any emotion or bias out of it, the bottom line is that Trump's company does seem to be betting big on Ethereum. But we still don't know why that is. And at the moment, even Trump's investment is in the red. However, Trump's Ethereum purchases are a pretty big signal that ETH and DeFi are open for business under this presidency. For example, he's definitely not going to pass legislation making it harder for his project to make money. I think that's a pretty safe bet. Switching gears, let's talk about Justin Sun and whether or not his 10K Ethereum plan is realistic. Justin Sun, of course, is the founder of Tron and part custodian of WBTC and kind of overall controversial figure, I think is what you could call him. He actually had a lot to say as far as what Ethereum could improve upon. Despite having his own chain with Tron, Sun has a lot invested in DeFi, now including a $45 million investment directly into Trump's WLFI project. And as we just discussed, we know that WLFI holds a lot of ETH. And this here is specifically Sun's step-by-step method on how to get Ethereum to 10,000K. Number 1. Halt all ETH sales by the ETH Foundation. This is a position that sounds controversial, but actually it shouldn't be. The Ethereum Foundation has been dumping on retail for years to fund its own operations. Instead of borrowing against or using staking income, they're just selling. So I actually agree with Sun here. That's not a good look. Second step is tax and burn. Justin says that ETH should be taxing its L2s more for the inherited security and other features that the L2s use. And actually, even those of you who have seen this plan already may not have noticed something. That's the fact that Sun recommends taking the L2 taxes that Ethereum collects to buy back ETH and then burn that ETH. And you may remember the big stink from about 2 years ago. That was ETH having a burn program with its new fee structure. That was EIP 1559, for those of you that were around. Remember all the stupid posts like these here? This was all a pipe dream. The burn amounts on ETH are now very small. And so this proposal by Sun would likely bring back the so-called ultra-sound money meme again, at least for Ethereans, because they are admittedly pretty quiet about that now. The third point here in Justin Sun's plan is actually a pretty big alignment and layoffs at the Ethereum Foundation. He is among many who believe the Ethereum Foundation has gotten too big and too far away from its goals and really the community that it purportedly serves. This is a pretty good proposal as far as I'm concerned. There's nothing really too controversial about it, in my opinion. And then number 4, lastly here, more on burns to make Ethereum truly deflationary. Sun wants to reduce rewards for nodes and increase the burn rate. And so these are kind of 4 independent suggestions, but taken together, he argues that they're essential collectively to get Ethereum back on track and ultimately move it to and beyond $10,000 per Ether. I actually think on the whole, this is a pretty good plan. You may or may not agree, and we can go over these points individually. Let me know what you think about that. Share your thoughts with us on X, because as of right now, we still have our comments off on YouTube videos. We're just getting bombarded with bots. So taking a little bit of a hiatus from the comments, and we'll analyze things, see how that goes. But right now, let's continue the discussion on X. And then as far as other technical and fundamental indicators here, we can get a sense of how healthy Ethereum is. One of the best ones to look at in terms of metrics is ETF inflows. You can see here that they are very healthy right now, in fact, at 18,000 ETH, or almost $60 million in a day, and $300 million in the last week. So if ETH is flat or down-ish, there has to be some reason. Because after all, if there is $300 million worth of buying just in the ETFs in just the last week, then there must be that much more in sellers for the price not to be rising. That, of course, begs the question, are exchanges and market makers keeping prices down right now? That is one theory, to be fair, difficult to prove, but it has been hypothesized. On the positive end, however, we should keep in mind it's not just ETF inflows either, because institutions are really showing us that they want to use Ethereum specifically and ETH DeFi protocols. The demand really does seem to be there. Ethereum has a lot of negative sentiment to go through before it can start growing again. I think most of us would agree on that. And it can definitely grow again. Ethereum is one of those projects that has been kind of down and out, candidly. But for all the reasons and all the variables that we've covered here, there is good cause to be bullish for Ethereum. And it's kind of one of those projects that once it takes off, a little bit like Bitcoin actually, it's going to really take off. So personally, I would not count it out of this cycle. And I think we're going to see more with Ether all-time highs in the relatively near future.